Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani. Well, we have heard a lot about various expeditions and rallies across India, including the Kashmir to Kanyakumari drive done across by various automobile manufacturers and, of course, through various vehicles. But today marks a very important occasion as an electric vehicle from Tata Motors stable has completed this 4,000-kilometer drive in about 4 days. And joining me today is Mr. Shailesh Chandra, Managing Director at Tata Motors Passenger Vehicles Limited and Tata Motors Passenger Electric Mobility Limited. Mr. Chandra, thank you so much. Congratulations for this wonderful feat. Tell us about how it feels for an electric vehicle to complete the K2K drive. Usually we have been doing all of this in an ICE vehicle. So how does it feel now?
Yeah, thank you, Chetan, for your compliments. I think Nexon EV, as you know, is the most popular vehicle in the electric vehicle segment. And generally, there is a misconception that electric vehicles are typically good and practical only for the city usage, and people have less confidence on electric vehicles' ability to go outside the city and giving them freedom to also go for long distance travels. I think this whole initiative was to instill confidence among the consumers that electric vehicles are as practical now as conventional vehicles with products like Nexon Max, which has a higher range. But at the same time, the growing charging infrastructure in the country, both in combination, is now making electric vehicles also as practical as conventional vehicles, even for long distance drive. So this challenge that we had taken in this particular initiative was to cover 4,000 kilometers in less than 4 days. And I'm very happy to say that we have been able to do that within the targeted timelines. And on an average, the vehicle was able to do 60-70 kilometers, and it was driving anywhere between 75 to 120 kilometer per hour kind of a speed, and delivered very good range of 300 kilometer plus. They had to take a pit stop about 18-20 and 18-20 locations for charging and all, and they have been able to complete in the record time of 4 days. Otherwise, people would have a notion that doing a Kashmir to Kanyakumari in an electric vehicle can take maybe more than a week or 10 days. So I'm very happy with what has been achieved by the team in these last 4 days of breaking the myths that surround the electric vehicles.
Right, Mr. Chandra, of course, I'd like to ask you this very important aspect that, during this drive, you had the Tata Motors dealerships and the charging points available at your convenience. But, when a common man literally travels and, goes through such long distances, he or she might not be able to have such facilities and such insulation from the outward conditions. So, don't you think there's a little bit more left to this eye that there needs to be a charging station ecosystem at a much more larger scale if electric vehicles at Tata Motors is getting so much expanded?
The very fact that in this particular drive there were 21 pit stops for charging. But when you compare with the number of fast chargers which have come in this 4,000 kilometer drive, is 150 plus chargers. And there was hardly only on one occasion that somebody had to stop for more than 15 minutes to get access to the charging. Not for a single time this car was being charged, using slow charger, or whether it was dependent too much on our dealers. Even they could have avoided the dealers, and there were sufficient, public chargers which were present. So now Kashmir to Kanyakumari is available, for anyone. The charging infrastructure is available for everyone. It is not that it was the dealers which supported that. It was incidentally that the car was passing through, those dealerships, and they wanted also to celebrate those occasions that they went. Otherwise, I must give confidence to all the consumers here that there are more than 150 chargers which are on these highways, and every 7,500 kilometers you will find one or two chargers which are in the vicinity of the highway.
Right, a very, very crucial aspect, sir. But thirdly, a very important part before I move on to other aspects of our conversation is, of course, ki kitna deti hai, have you done any kind of cost analysis, like a driving from a Kashmir to Kanyakumari? How much would an ICE cost? Of course, it's 4,000 kilometers, and if we take an average of about 10 to 15 on an ICE vehicle, it would cost something else. But on an electric vehicle, is there a cost benefit analysis that you have done? And do you think how much money would an average person driving from a Kashmir to Kanyakumari could save?
Yeah, it's very interesting. That was not the focus of showing, because it is a known fact that electric vehicles give you a lot of saving as far as operating cost is concerned. But just the back of the envelope calculation would show that in a 4,000 kilometer drive at the rate of say 6 rupees per kilometer, nearly 25,000 rupees would have saved. I'm sure that this money can be used in different ways. Staying in good hotels. Maybe eating in better joints. I think there are ways of using that 25,000 rupees. So yes, it would have led to that kind of saving for a
Right, of course.
4,000 kilometer kind of a stretch.
Right, Mr. Chandra, pleasure as always to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.